Hi guys, I'm Tony Woods and I'll be taking you through the SISNI Guitar Method Fundamental Chord Shapes, book number 1. Alright guys, very good. Up to this point we have covered 4 different keys. In our Fundamental Chord Shapes book 1, we've covered the key of G, the key of C, the key of A, and last few lessons the key of D. We are moving on. We are probably 4 or 5 lessons away from graduating this particular Book 1 curriculum. If you have made it this far, you have done a fantastic job. You are becoming very well versed in your chords and your movable shapes and even your guitar neck, because you know the 5th and 6th strings all the way up and down the neck. Great job. You are on your way. Little note about our songs. If you notice, most of our songs haven't had a lot of fancy rhythm, and that's because if you did just buy a guitar today and you're working your way through this, just learning the chord names and the chords is more than enough work. If you try to engage another part of your brain to start incorporating rhythm at this point, I think it's overloaded. It's too much. We'll start incorporating guitar rhythms in Book 2 and then really focusing on them in Book 3 of the Fundamental Chord Shapes. So yes, we're playing things very square, very straight, but I think it's important that we limit the number of variables we're using, focus on just the left hand for a while. Okay, so we are into the key of E, which is the last most popular key for guitars. You know, piano players, horn players, violinists, all those guys learn every key and every single sharp or flat. And luckily for guitar players, we don't have to work that hard. There's really only 5 keys that guitar players play in most of the time, and even then, if you find your favorite band and listen to their music, they write all of their songs probably in 1 or 2 of their favorite keys. Probably something like E and A. I'll bet you that's what you see most often. But anyway, those 5 keys for guitar, I remember them because of the word caged. C-A-G-E-D. The word caged, like you're in a cage. Caged is each one of the keys that you play on guitar most often. C, A, G, E, and D. So we're up to key of E. We're going to learn our chords. We're going to learn a couple songs. We're going to do a 5th and 6th string review, and we're going to have our last solo is going to be the heavy metal solo. You may want an electric guitar for that solo. If you don't have an electric guitar, you may just want to skip it because we're going to try to do some tapping in there as well. So let's get on with our chords in the key of E. We've got an E chord. We're on page 73 of your book. We've got an E chord, 1st finger, 1st fret, 2nd finger on top, 3rd finger underneath. This is exactly like the A minor chord, just move it up 1 string. And we've already played the E chord in our flamenco solo, the Spanish solo that we did in the key of C. There's our E chord. The A chord, we've already done that in the key of A. A chord. The B chord, this is actually the full version of the power chord. Our B power chord, 5th string B power chord. We're only playing 2 strings, the 5th string and the 4th string. The full version of this chord is to flatten that pinky so that you not only get the 4th string, but you're getting the 3rd and the 2nd string. So you're basically holding 3 strings with the pinky or the 3rd finger, and 1st finger's on the B. So now what sounded like a power chord now sounds like a full chord. Incidentally, the high E string doesn't make a sound. My pinky is kind of touching it, so the E doesn't sound, but all the other strings do. That chord's going to take quite a bit of practice, so don't rush it. It just does. From that B chord, we have the B7 chord that we already saw in the jazz solo previously. To change it, in order to make that optional 7th, that dotted note in the 2nd fret there, the only way to make that happen is to bar the 2nd fret, put your 3rd finger on the 4th string, pinky on the 2nd string, in the 4th fret there. And that gives you another power chord, and it's a 7th. That would make it a B7 chord. In this chord, you do play the high E string because it works since these fingers are not flattened. Okay, the interesting thing about this B7, if you want to go above and beyond the curriculum now, you can move this 7 chord to any of your 5th string notes. So we could start out with A7, split fingers here. Put your bar at the 2nd fret, make a B7. Move it to the C, you got a C7. Move that to the D, that's a D7. E7, F7, G7, A7. Okay, so that is a movable bar chord. That would be very valuable to know. Okay, and then the C sharp minor, in your book, it's got a little arrow that says 4th fret on that C sharp minor. Some of the older books might not have that little notation. So what you're going to do is find your C sharp on the 5th string. Okay, open, it's an A, 2nd fret's a B, 3rd fret's a C, 4th fret is a C sharp. So now we're going to make this minor shape on the C sharp, and that makes it a C sharp minor. If you remember from the key of D, and from Fields of Gold that we did by Sting, we played a B minor chord. That was a bar at the 2nd fret, this kind of similar to our F chord, but everything is moved down 1 string and forward. So there's our B minor. You slide that forward to the C, slide it forward to the C sharp. Now we have a C sharp minor. Okay, so we have the exercise below there, and then we're going to need a song. How are we doing on time? Let's see, let's just play through the exercise that we have below there, below the key. And there's also extra practice for you online if you want to download a song called Stars Go Blue by Tim McGraw. It's got all of these chords in it. It'll be great practice. You can get that at the Guitar School, actually www.guitarschoolofrichland.com. Go to the free PDF section, download that PDF, and we'll have a lesson on that. Okay, so let's play through the exercise at the bottom of the page. We've got E for 4 beats, A for 4 beats, B for 4 beats. This is the one where you lay your finger, your pinky flat, and E for 4 beats. Now, incidentally, just to let you know, in a real life situation where I'm doing one-on-one half-hour classes with people, this is about all we cover in one whole half-hour class, mixed in with a bunch of old review. The B chord tends to be very hard for most people, and it doesn't always sound good for quite a while. So if it happens for you that you've nailed it, you are way ahead of the learning curve. If it's really hard for you and not all the notes sound good, that is about average. Most people have a tough time with that chord. You'll probably start getting comfortable with the B chord and that 7th chord around the end of book number 2. You'll have had enough practice with that chord. Okay, so don't stress about it. Have fun and just keep working at it. All right, so let's go to the 2nd line. We're at the 4th fret. We're going to make a C sharp minor chord. Back to the A. C sharp minor. Back to the A. To a B7. 2nd fret, this is the name of the chord, the B, and the chord shape makes it a 7, B7. to an E chord. Alright guys, that's the lesson on the key of E. We're almost done. You're almost graduating your first book. Nice job. Practice hard. Have a great day, and we'll see you for our next lesson.